So good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Sandy.
I'd like to introduce to you the president of the Newport Mesa Federation of Teachers, who would like to speak with you this morning about, what's going on in the district. So, Britt, what's going on in the district?
Well, there's a lot going on around the district.
I know. Excuse me for interrupting, but I know you wanted to talk about what the goal is for
Right.
NMFT.
So let's talk about what our goals are for this year. We met as a team, our leadership team met this summer, and we spent some quality time, and we've focused on member communication, videos such as this, electronic regular newsletters, regular messaging going out, one-to-one conversations through our school site rep communication plan. And through that, we're hoping that we get a greater member engagement, that our members feel part of the solution. They are giving their feedback, and we have
And they're
a
informed.
two-way.
And they're informed, right?
Right. So
Right.
it's a two-way engagement. That's what we're seeking to do. For us, a union, one of the top priorities is always the contract. Our contract expires at the end of June of 2017. So we have a long-term contract that we will be working on, and we are still simultaneously working on the current contract negotiations. And then finally, there are a bevy of curriculum issues at play around the district, both in elementary and secondary, and NMFT wants to be an active partner in helping come up with solutions and having a voice for teachers who implement that curriculum and are experts on what works with kids. So we want to make sure that that voice is part of any decision-making process in the district. Also, this fall, we have some important elections coming up. There is a school board election, as well as there is Proposition 55, which is to continue funding for public education.
Okay. So, is there anything else you want to talk about in terms of what the goal, what do you see at the end of 6 months? What do you see at the end of a year here for the union?
Well, ultimately, what we want to achieve is better conditions for people in front of kids, and so that could mean that they have better preparation time for getting ready. They have better curriculum to use. They feel confident and financially secure in their profession, so that they can come to work confident to work with kids. Because the bottom line is if we have quality teachers and quality support staff at the school sites, that's better for kids, and that's ultimately what we're trying to achieve. So through that, having regular two-way communication with our members, so we know what they think and we can bounce our ideas off of them. Regular two-way communication with the district administration and the school board that are making these decisions or implementing the decisions, and making sure that there is good communication between those parties. Sometimes that communication is difficult and we disagree, and sometimes we find common ground easily.
You're talking about the union and the district, but not the union within
Correct.
itself, right?
Correct.
Right.
Between decisions for, example, a curriculum choice that teachers dislike.
Like
would be
maybe,
one example.
can I say swan math?
Sure, I think that is a good example where there has been a lot of discord, and we're working with the district to try to have a method for finding a replacement for next school year.
So, when you say two-way communication, so how would you like the members to communicate to the union what their issues are, what their problems are, or maybe say, thanks? How would you like that?
Well, the best way of communication is always some form of a face-to-face communication, and that could be with the representative at their site, or it could be a face-to-face conversation with one of the elected officers. All of our meetings are open to any member to attend, whether that is for an officers meeting called the executive board, or whether that's a site representative meeting. Every member is always welcome to attend, and we publish that schedule. Additionally, many people have sent email responses to me with different updates that I've sent. I try to always respond to each individual as best as I can, based on my time and other things we have going on. That is also effective. It's also, we intend to try to build up some different electronic survey items for some quick feedback on some items. And that's a way to gauge everyone. So really, we just need people to pay attention.
So if somebody's having a problem, new teacher, let's say,
Right.
So, hello, new teachers, welcome. If somebody's having a problem, then they call in the union office, and immediately they either talk to you or to Nicholas or somebody, right?
The first step is always talk to your site representative
Right.
at the school. That's the first step,
Right.
Because most things can be solved locally. Most things can be solved with a conversation, and that's where the relationship exists.
Okay.
And then if the site rep can then give some guidance on, hey, this is something I can help you with, or this is something that somebody in the union office needs to assist with, depending on the issue.
Okay. And this video will be going on your website, and I understand the website's going to be changed.
It will be. We have some other priorities before, so the website probably won't change until Thanksgiving timeframe, but it will change.
Okay. I know you have other things to talk about, so do you want to move on to the next thing?
Yeah, so really what we're looking for is for people to be engaged, whether that is engaged in the election that's coming up, whether it's engaged in at their site, if they have an issue or a problem with something. So work together, okay? Have a conversation. It doesn't have to be divisive, but have a professional conversation. If an individual is worried about having that conversation one-on-one, then talk to your site rep, or let one of the executive board members or myself have that conversation on your behalf. But
Shouldn't
advocate for yourself.
Right. Shouldn't, that's always tough, though, especially for people that are new.
Right.
So shouldn't you always take somebody with you when you go to speak with the principal or with an administrator about something? Shouldn't somebody always
best.
have two
Right.
of you, right?
Right.
And take notes or
Correct.
record or whatever. So how important would it be for a representative from every school to show up at the board meetings?
It is very important. I think that you need to understand the people that employ you, which is the school board. You need to understand their decision-making process. You need to understand the issues that they place importance on. You should understand the types of items that get discussed on the agenda versus items that don't. There's different ways of operating the district. So it's an important process to be engaged. Part of that is as well because there is a school board election this fall, and you need to understand how the board operates. You need to understand who the different players are who are for election, and their role in operating the school district. This is one of the very few professions where you are able to elect your employers, and it is important that you have an informed decision for the school board election. So related to that, there are going to be multiple community forum events happening this fall. We'll get the dates and times out and locations to everyone. So pay attention, please.
Yeah, and I think there's one coming up on the 21st, but I'm not quite sure exactly where it is. So and also, I think it would be interesting for those people who live in the district, for teachers who live in the district, to know what zone they're in, because it does matter about the zones, and people don't understand about the voting. So you may want to explain that at some point or send something out.
We will. This district does an at-large election, so if you live in the district, you're voting for all 3 seats that are for election. But you do need to understand how the zones operate. The district also is evaluating if they want to redraw the lines on those zones for in the future to balance populations and et cetera. So there may be changes.
So the board really, and I think some people don't understand, the board really does appoint. They hire the administration. Correct.
That is correct. So the board directly hires the superintendent and then empowers the superintendent to have a large decision-making process in hiring all the other administrators and also in hiring the teachers and all the employees. But the top superintendent and his cabinet have contracts directly with the school board, and then all the rest of us have one negotiated contract collectively for our conditions.
So I know there's something else you want to talk about. So
the other thing that we want to make sure that people are aware of is Proposition 55, which for this district brings in about $4.2 million a year. It's an extension of a current existing tax. It is not raising a tax, and it is absolutely essential for funding all school districts around California, and does directly benefit this school district as well. So members who have children in other school districts than this absolutely critically need that funding source to remain intact. So we are encouraging all of our members to talk to their family and friends and their social network about supporting Proposition 55. If you need more information, you can check the Yes on 55 websites.
That's great. Okay, Britt, is there anything else before we sort of sign off?
I just want to thank everyone for their support for NMFT. We encourage you to stay active, and we hope you have an absolutely amazing school year. Thank you.
Great, thanks.